So Batman and Robin are talking, and Robin says, "The Batmobile isn't starting." "Well, did you charge the battery?" "What the hell is it, Terry?" Ha ha ha. Welcome to Shave&Butcher. The shave today is going to be with the oldest shaving soap in the world. Well, the oldest recipe of shaving soap, or at least the oldest brand in shaving. This soap, which is Dutch, is called the Vergulde Hand, sort of, is from 1554. That's when they started making this thing. Probably the recipe is a bit different now than it was at the time, but you know what I mean. It's a cheap and cheerful soap, and yeah, smells a bit like palm olive, actually. Bit of a citrusy vibe. So it's not an exclusive soap at all. It comes in this plastic jar, but I want to keep the front part of it. So I'm turning it over when I lather. And lather I will with a Paladin brush, 28mm Winston 2-band badger thingy. So there we go, I'll wet the face. So we'll lather up, and then, yeah, the razor, what do? Do I put it in the, no, I'm holding it in my hand, but I'm doing it down here because it's going to make a mess. So midweek shave, it is Wednesday, middle of the week, a work day, but working from home today. We still work at home a few days a week, basically, at my work, and it's quite nice. It's a nice change. It's good to get into the office, meet people, have physical meetings, you know, get a bit of the vibe. But a big part of the job that I do, I don't necessarily have to be in an office, so I try to work from home, you know, a few days a week, basically. And obviously I'm fortunate enough to have that opportunity. Realize many of you don't, and maybe you don't want to work from home, but it is a nice change, and it, you know, it saves the commute to work, which is nice because I've got quite a commute, so saves the aggravation of being in traffic. It also saves a bit of time, and you know, overall I think I'm more productive this way than I would be otherwise. But you know, everyone's different. What's it like for you? If you're working, or if you're studying, you know, are you able to do it remote, or do you have to go to your workplace? And how do you feel about that? It seems the world sort of post-pandemic. I know it's not over yet, but you know, most of the restrictions are gone. It seems a lot of workplaces are trying to find their way between, you know, working in the office. I guess it's really office workers who have the opportunity of being remote. And you know, it'll be interesting. Hopefully we'll reap some of the benefits of what we've learned during the pandemic to make things better. You know, work-life balance, that sort of thing. Turning into rather nice lather. I'm going to add a tiny bit more water. Have you tried this soap? It's not like you definitely have to. It's not the best soap in the world, but it works fine. And there's just something about, you know, the oldest recipe, well, the oldest brand of soap in the world, because I think it is 1554. It's got to be a record. Have you tried it? What do you think? The Vergulde Hand. I hope the pronunciation is reasonable. The razor today is Swedish. I didn't know I had it, so I don't know if it's sharp enough. It's a SSA, Swedish Steel Corporation, basically. It's I don't know, 5/8 of an inch. Let's see if it cuts hair. Seems to be. Well, a bit anyway. You never quite know until the second pass how sharp it is. Soap is a bit on the dry side. Or the lather rather. That's all on who makes the lather. Well, actually, I think the moisture on this moisture content is higher than the usual lather, but for me, oh, here we go. Boom. There we go. Boom shakalaka. Quite possibly it isn't the most moisturizing soap, but it does the job for sure. And you know, I think if you worry about how moisturizing a soap is or not, then you know you should consider using a balm, a moisturizing balm, because any shaving activity with any soap will leave your skin a bit drier than what it was before, because you're scraping off skin and oils and stuff from the face. So you could argue, well, if soap is really, really very moisturizing, meaning it will leave your skin a bit less dry than a less moisturizing soap, but it still is gonna leave it drier than when you started, then maybe you need to apply a bit of moisture. And I don't think it's ever anything wrong with adding more moisture, adding a balm. At least if you find one that doesn't give you a skin reaction or anything like that. Some people have sensitive skin. I don't really at all, so I'm lucky in that way. But you know, what am I saying? Well, I'm saying that the moisturizing properties in the soap isn't all that important for me, because I manage moisturizing in a different way. But it's part of the soap, part of the shaving experience, obviously. Alum block, get my fingers wet, put them on the alum block to get better grip. There's a tip for you. This razor was good. I don't know how old it is. Perfect. But those Swedes, you know, they knew how to make razors. No one makes straight razors out of Sweden anymore, which is a pity. That would be really something. And you know, in the olden days, in Eskilstuna in Sweden, where most of them were made, if not all, they were sort of mass manufactured. They had this steel, Swedish steel, which still is perhaps the best in the world. And that brought, you know, cutlery and razor and that sort of manufacturing. So you had makers like C.V. Helgestrand, Erik Anton Berg, SSA is corporation. Claes Törnblom, who else? You know, loads of guys. I've never been to Eskilstuna. I'm not so sure there's a lot to see, but it would be awesome if there was like a knife or razor museum. Perhaps there is. Oops. Yeah, it's a good razor. So you had those places where you had loads of people just made stuff out of steel. Must have been something, you know. If you were able to travel back to Eskilstuna or Sheffield, that would be cool. Well, Solingen in Germany still make razors. Straights. And Sheffield, there still is double-edged safety razors. A perfect shape. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay. Aftershave. Boom. Just to prove my point. Well, I was going to use this anyway. This is just your standard face moisturizer. Oh well, I added a bit too much. Well, that's okay. Put it on the old dome. Get that moisturized too. You know, just leave the skin more supple. If you have good moisturizer, it's not going to be all greasy or anything. It's going to just get absorbed into the skin and you're going to feel better and look better and everything. Okie doke. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of the week and stay sharp.